Here's a simple question. What happens if we treat online interactions with websites and applications as if they were a conversation? As if we were actually speaking with another person. Now, this is an exercise I've done with folks that's proven to be rather insightful. For example, here's a conversation I had recently while submitting a workshop proposal to a conference website. Now, I looked at the field and saw that it could hold about 20 characters and assumed that I could write whatever response I wanted. So I wrote in there 40-ish, since that was my best guess about how many people I would expect in the workshop or like to have. And of course, the computer did not like that answer, said, please enter a numeric value. I thought I had, but I guess it didn't like letters. So I typed 30 to 40, which it also didn't like. I tried 35 question mark, which it didn't like. Again, red and screaming at me the whole time. Finally, I gave in, just typed 35. It was all in all, it was a very frustrating conversation. And that was just one form field in about a dozen or more. Now, had this been a real conversation between two people, a few things would have happened differently. One, the device in this case would have been a lot more forgiving and accepted my first response. This is just human behavior. We say, yep, that's great, and we nod and go on. And the human does the translation, the receiver. Two, if this were not possible, he or she would have been a lot clearer with me about what an appropriate response was. And third, if I had struggled to answer such a simple question, by the time I gave the appropriate answer, there would have been some consolation at the end. Someone saying, hey, a lot of people struggle with this question. It's no big deal. So here's another example. Now, just listen to the conversation before I actually show you the UI. I'm just going to read the conversation out loud. File upload. Choose file. No file chosen. Please select the file and click Upload button. Or drop files here. Upload. Sounds rather choppy, right? Yet, if I show you the screen, the UI, this is something we've all seen and become very accustomed to. Contrast this very familiar UI pattern with this one from Basecamp. To attach files, drag and drop here, or select files from your computer. It's the very same functionality, just someone thought about how this experience could be improved. And that's what I want to talk about in this virtual seminar, the how, or as I'm calling it, designing for micro moments, the series of tiny moment-by-moment interactions that happen between a user and an environment, in this case, the user interface. To create great experiences, we need to focus on how we design things, not just what we design. And I'll be talking a lot about the difference between these two things and how to get from requirements and best practices and pattern matching to actually thinking about interaction design as a conversation in order to take it to the next level. In this virtual seminar, I'll be sharing dozens of examples of how we can create a great user experience by attending to these kinds of interface details. I'll talk about things like how an interface can change over time. I'll talk about things like how an interface can be clear and comforting, and also how conversations can use more than just words to convey meaning. I'll also share a bit about my design process, one that's more of a bottom-up approach to design. We'll talk about 5 ways to respond to too much information and how to decide when things should be obvious or discoverable, a huge challenge when you're designing screens and interactions. So I do hope you'll join us for this UIE virtual seminar on designing for micro moments. Hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you.